So if you're trying to restore an old vehicle on a budget and you have window frames that look like this, window rubbers that look like this, I've got a cheap hack that may do the trick for you temporarily till you can afford to get the proper rubbers in your window. Stick around, I'll show you all about it. Alright, so here's our dilemma. Pretty much the window rubbers are absolutely shot, deteriorated, cracking, split, missing in spots, and just that's probably where they were joined together at one time. It just over the years the rubber just shrank, and it's pretty bad. This is the bottom of the window, and it must have been leaking and somebody just packed it full of silicone. It's all cracked open. I don't mean to sound like a cheapskate, but right now $1,000 for window rubber just isn't there, man. So I had to come up with a way to at least temporarily repair this rubber and put it back in the vehicle so we can actually drive this thing. So this is my solution. It comes in a tube, Flex Seal paste, super thick rubber paste. It dries, it feels like rubber when it's dry, and it's about $18 for a tube of it. I've got one coat on this window now and sealed up all them cracks. That was a big split right there. That part right there was a big split, like that one in that window. So we're gonna go around it one more time. We just put the rubberized sealant on there, and then we just go over it with this little Bondo spreader that I cut up to conform to the shape of the rubber, and 2 coats of that. And this window will look brand new. We'll get this window cleaned up, get it ready to put the rubber on. We'll get a second coat on this one, and I'll show you the results in the end. Clean our edges up, and then we'll hit it with a second coat, and that should be good. Alright, so this is the result of 2 coats of that rubber sealant. You can see that it's completely filled all the cracks. Pretty good. I just took some 80 grit paper to knock all the boogers off. You can even do like a third coat to get it a lot smoother than that, which I might do on the bottom because the bottom was really rough. The bottom is where all that silicone was built up, but we got it pretty much smooth. There's a few rough spots, but for the most part it has filled in every one of those cracks. As you can see, it stays pretty pliable, so it's actually just like rubber when it dries. So it's a cheap hack, so you can afford to get new rubbers. And we'll put this window in today, and you can see what it looks like when it's in the Jeep. And for 18 bucks, you can't go wrong. Still have half a tube, and I was able to do both these windows and these windows in the back as well. But that'll buy us some time so we can afford to spend $1,000 on window rubbers. So hopefully it'll help you out. So moving on, it's been about a week and a half since I ordered the windshield for this. We're at the mercy of the Jeepster man, I guess. So here's what we're looking at in this episode. I started the punch list punch list items on this side. Stuff that has to actually get done in this episode. I'm hoping to get done in this episode. Let's put it that way. We got the finishing the seat thing is probably not going to happen, but we have to finish all the panels in the roof, reinstall the windows that we have in the window frames. We had a fiberglass our overhead console, secure the wood bed in, but I didn't want to secure the wood bed in until we get done messing around with the windows in the back. And along with doing that, we're going to multitask over here. I want to figure out what's going on with this headlight. I got a new bulb we can try. I was actually going to try to switch the bulbs around and see if it's a wiring thing or a socket thing or, you know, a dimmer switch thing. I've already tried 2 different dimmer switches in it, so I don't think it's a dimmer switch. It's doing the same thing. So I don't know what's going on there. Prop rods, I'll show you what I got going on for those. I had these clips, threaded clips, and I just kind of broke them apart and started fabricating something that we can screw this into like that. It's going to get bolted right there. We already got the hole drilled, and we're probably going to have to put some tack welds on there to shore it up even more. Then all we'll do is thread our rod in there on both sides, and that will be our prop rod. So hopefully that'll work out. We'll get up on and retighten all the bolts on the header and check the exhaust pipe coming out of it, see if it didn't come apart. Carb issues will probably be an ongoing thing. I mean, I don't even know. This carburetor's been sitting around for a while. I'll probably end up having to take it off and rebuild it. I don't know. The plug that we put in the back of the intake, pulled the plug back out, went down and got a fitting that will fit in there, so we can use it as a vacuum port for our transmission modulator. I have a flywheel cover that we're going to put on to cover the flywheel up. We have an issue now with the brake pedal. The brake lights are staying on, the pedal's not coming all the way up to shut off the lights, so it's just that's what you're going to run into, I guess. It's why they call it a punch list. So we're basically working on a few different things all at the same time. It's called multitasking, and if we're going to want to drive this thing before winter, at least once, we got to keep moving, man. So I'm going to stop talking and let's start doing. Alright, so when it comes to fiberglassing, you can use just about anything for a form. I chose this foam board. It's pretty rigid. I've used cardboard before. It doesn't really matter. Anything that will hold the form, because once this fiberglass resin sets, it's going to be like concrete, man. So let's get some mixed up and get this console done. Alright, we got the one layer on the one side, top on the one side. I don't know that it'll be necessary to put more than 1 or 2 layers on there because it's going to be overhead. There's not going to be any weight on it. It's going to get covered. This will get sanded down and it'll get a skim coat of mud on it anyway. So once this hardens up, we'll mix up another batch and do this side and see what we got. Okay, so we're going to let our console set up to harden. It's just about hardened now. So while we let that console harden, I got some behind the scenes stuff. I've decided to repaint those window frames. They were green and it looked terrible. That looks a whole lot better, I think. Got our panels fit up in there. Started to finish off the sides and the seams. So the only thing left to do now is to clean this back up here and get our wood fastened in there. I managed to get the brake lines hooked up. We do have a little bit of a leak up there, so I'm going to have to tighten those up. As you can expect, all 4 bleeders are frozen solid, so we're going to have to work on cracking them open. Also, yesterday I went and got tires swapped out. We got some tires with decent tread on them now. Michelin's. The only problem is we're hitting down here. We're scraping down at the tie rods, so on both sides we probably will have to put some kind of wheel spacer in there. I'm not going to go with the 2-inch ones though, so I think we're going to pick up some smaller ones to stick in there, and I might put the 2s back in the back here and bring this back tire out a little farther, but we'll just have to get something for the front that'll solve that problem. I ended up getting the caps off. Ended up getting those caps off. Had to drill a lot of the screws out, and they're pretty bad. They're pretty this is the only decent one. This one's aluminum. These were chrome plated, but they're all pitted, and they just look terrible. So we're gonna have to do something with those. Wire wheel them down and repaint them. Believe it or not, they want 25 bucks a piece for those little caps. That ain't gonna happen right now. Hey, we were out here on the old Willys once again yesterday. Got our bedwood fastened down for the most part. Most of it anyway. This morning I'm working on getting our newly painted console, the wires fed up into it for the light and the switch and the radio, feeding wires to power the radio, all that kind of boring stuff, aggravating stuff. Yesterday hit it with 2 coats of Bondo, sanded it out, primed it, and then hit it with a couple coats of white satin to match the roof color. Got our wheel spacers back on. Actually, the 2s don't look as bad as I thought they were going to on the front. The 2s look pretty good in the back, I think, and they actually don't look too bad on the front. I mean, I kind of like the way it looks. It's got a Willy's stance, let's put it that way. But I think it's good. I think we could run with it for now. We got our drive shaft in. We got the fuel tank back in. Everything is hooked up. Nothing's leaking. I would like to finish up this interior and get the brakes bled here shortly. And as soon as we get the brakes bled, we can fire this baby up and see if she'll roll out of here. Alright, so we are out here on a brand new day. I've done a lot of behind the scenes stuff. It doesn't make much sense to put on camera me tightening bolts and stuff like that. To me, I mean, you know, running wire. But I will tell you that I have gotten the panels finished. We finished our panels. I'll show you that in a minute. We got our tires on. We got the bedwood in. Let's see. We did the manifold vacuum thing. We fixed our exhaust leak. Finished the wire loom, mainly in the back. And we also, that's right, finished our seats. Let's take a look at those. So my wife took the time to finish up these cushions, and they look pretty good, I think. I got the passenger seat bolted in. The driver's seat, we have to make a bracket for the front of this to bring it up a little bit. Finished up our console. Got the wires run. Got the radio in. We had to take the ceiling panels back out. Those ceiling panels back down so we can get our wires run down to the panels here on the bottom, because this is where our speakers are going to go. Finished all the panels up over the visor in the back. Kick panels made and installed. They just have to be screwed in. Overhead console is done as well. Finally got shipping confirmation on the windshield. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be here by the end of this video, but we will make a video putting that in. Let's take a look at the final results of our window rubber repair. I think it turned out pretty good. It's pretty good. That's 3 coats of that rubberized sealant and filled all the cracks. Even filled that big gap there. So I think it worked out really well to extend the life of our window rubbers. This is the other side. Same thing. Worked out really well. So I'm going to call that a win. I mean, it was a cheap fix. 20 bucks I think it was for that tube. So the only thing left to do really is to bleed the brakes. Hopefully nothing goes wrong there. We have to fill the tranny with tranny fluid, and hopefully this carburetor will run well enough for us to take a little putt around the yard, maybe. Hopefully. It's just a bunch of little piddly stuff now, so if I think there's anything interesting, I'll film it. If not, we'll just go ahead and do it. Hopefully next time I turn this camera on, we'll be driving this baby out of here. So just as with every build, you're always going to have a punch list at the end. At least I always do. Anyway, but we've taken a lot of things off and we added a few things to it. One of them being we have to fabricate a lid for our battery box, and I've tried a few different things. It just didn't really work out. They do have this. It's an old cover from an electrical panel, and it actually fits perfectly over our battery box. So the thought here is to cut the center of this out and just put a flat piece over the top. So we have that little bit of a lip there, and we do have that piano hinge. We can mount to this pretty easily. I think this will probably be the one that works of all the things I've tried. So let's go ahead and get this cut out and fabricated. The reason we couldn't leave it in because it was recessed and it would hit the battery. We could just flip this over, but I really don't want to do that. We have cut down and utilized some more of the metal that Tim from the Toolman channel sent us for our cover pieces. He sent us some door handles, which I appreciate, hood hinges, and some scrap metal from his old parts, Willy. Really appreciate that. So we're going to utilize as much of it as we can. So let me go ahead and get that all welded up, ground down, and painted. Alright, so yesterday we got our battery box cover fabricated, painted, a little handle on there. We got another handle here. The ones that were on the hood, I don't know if you remember seeing those, but we're going to repurpose them. This is going to be a grab handle for the inside of the Jeep. I was also able to make a bracket for the front of our seat. Use the same square tubing that we repaired our tailgate with. We had some left over, so that worked out pretty good. Just mounted it to the bed and mounted the seat to it. Pretty basic stuff. So let me get the battery box cover mounted and we'll go from there. Alright, front seat is mounted now. Battery box cover, check. Two more things checked off the list. This is my temporary prop rod, but these are the ones I want to make work. They screw into those nutsert things that I had, so we got to just get the nutsert thingies, fabricate those into something that's going to be able to be welded to here or bolted to there, hold the weight of the roof up. I got them on both sides. Just put some nuts on the end. Holds it up. Should have done that right from the beginning, but you know what? I wanted it to look a little better, but sometimes simple is better. My assistant is pretty busy today at work, so we're going to try to bleed the brakes ourselves with this $25 Harbor Freight special. I don't know if you guys ever used one before or not, but I don't have a lot of faith in it. We'll see how well it does. I figure it this way, if this thing works one time, it's probably worth the 25 bucks if I can get these brakes bled. I think probably want to pump this thing up to like what, 20 psi or something. Something like that, and then crack the bleeder. Just watch that gauge when I pop this bleeder. See it going down. See the fluid coming down. It's a process doing it by yourself. You got to check the fluid in the master cylinder, pump the pedal, come back here, pump this up, crack the bleeder, and you'll get a lot of air and a little bit of fluid. And you know, I'm going to do this a couple of times and repeat the process. Go fill the master cylinder back up, pump the pedal, come back here. It's going to take me all day to do 4 of these, so let me get at it, man. So you see we got some pretty straight fluid now. Still a little bit of air in there, but I think for 25 bucks, even if it's a one-time use, you get your brakes bled. So I'm kind of thinking at this point, let's start this baby up and see if we can get this thing to roll out of here. Brakes are good. I have to get some tranny fluid in it. Let's do that real quick and see if we can't fire this baby up and take it for a little ride. Well, it's running a lot better, but I'm not sure what that noise is. I don't know if we got a vacuum leak or something. I think we may need more tranny fluid. I'm not getting a reading on the stick still, so I'll have to run down and get some more tranny fluid, and then maybe this baby will pull out of here. I don't know. Alright, so yesterday we went down and got us some transmission fluid, and when I started this thing back up, that whistling or whining or whatever it was even worse. So I decided, rather than, you know, blow something up, let's just take this holly off and see if we can find, you know, somewhere on this where there's a vacuum leak. But I didn't really see anything. Looked over the manifold, didn't see anything there. So I don't really know what's going on with it. It'll probably have to be taken apart and rebuilt. I'll have to get a rebuild kit for it. So that's going to take a while. So I decided, you know what? This thing almost ran with this quadrajet on it the last time. So let's just go ahead and stick the quadrajet back on there and see what happens. Other than getting a new carburetor or rebuilding this one, I'm not sure what that was. It was running pretty good with it on there, so other than that whining. So I don't know if it's something in the carburetor. Maybe, you know, I know the intake is sealed well because it ran before without whining like that, so I'm not sure really what's going on. Any old way, let's just go ahead and hook the battery back up and see what this quadrajet will do for this old Willys. Alright, let's give her a try. Let me tune on a little bit more and we'll try it again. Well, I ain't sure what's wrong with this quadrajet, but she'll run on high idle, but the minute you try to pull a choke off, she wants to quit. I've tried the idle screws, I've tried messing with the electric choke. She'll run great at high idle. The minute you try to idle it down, The choke sticks halfway on. I think that was a choke adjustment. I made that so that I went to an open choke, but it won't run wide open like that. So I don't know what's going on, but I ordered another carburetor. I broke down and did it. What I'm going to do in the meanwhile, it's going to be 3-4 days before we get it. I've got a new gasket set for this Holly. We're going to go ahead and throw a new gasket on it and see if that doesn't make a difference, just for something to do today, because I had planned on having this thing start and drive and all that good stuff, but I guess it's not going to happen. So let's just mess around with carburetors all day. Alright, so the Quadrajet is off. The Holly is back on, but let me show you this. She's leaking gas out the stems here. Well, I don't believe that was the cause of that noise. It could have been. It could have been. We just threw this on here just to see. I got a new intake gasket for it. I was thinking maybe it was that, but now that I see that could be the source of that whining. But we're going to find out. We basically just did this because I had nothing better to do today, so I'm going to throw this back on. We do have a carburetor on order. It's let me just say that it's comparable to the 1406 Edelbrock. Let's just say that. So let's hook the battery back up and see if this Holly carburetor can at least get us around the yard one time. So I do believe that's what that whining is. It's been leaking around here. It does run a lot better with the Holly on it. Other than that, let's just see if we can get her to go around the yard once. She is moving on her own for the first time. Showing that we are charging. I don't believe that. The gas gauge is working. She's 180. 30 pounds. She's holding at 30 pounds of oil pressure and idle. Power steering seems to be working. Brakes are working. Speedometer's working. Alright, we made a successful run around the house, so I'm going to call that another win. Alright, well there she is. Successful run around the house. I did notice a few things. One being the gear shift is in the wrong orientation. We'll have to throw that on the punch list. Swap around the mechanism so that park is up here instead of down here. I don't know how I did that. But punch list item. We do need an overflow tank for the radiator. Another punch list item. There's not enough throw on the accelerator, so we're gonna have to do something, maybe shorten that cable up a little more so I get a little more pedal. But the winding went away from the Holly. I don't know what it was. It's got to be coming through those shafts. But I do have another carb on order. We're gonna try that. All in all, we're gonna call that good. There's a lot of tweaking to do, as you can imagine. We got to get an e-brake in this thing. Inside door handles, I did decide to keep them, and I painted them to match the inside trim. And we're going to put these wooden knobs for our window crank handles. I think that'll work out all right. Hopefully, when this new carburetor comes, we'll have our carb issue solved. I still have to get the cover on the flywheel. I fixed the brake pedal. I readjusted the switch over a little farther, and now the brake lights go out when they're supposed to. Another punch list item is this battery. I don't believe is any good. This is the battery that was in the S10. I don't believe it's holding a charge because it drained down pretty good there when I was trying to get it started with the Quadrajet. We have come a long way with this old Willys, that's for sure. She's now operating under her own power. Next video, hopefully he's putting the windshield in and taking this thing for its first drive. For the most part, she's all together. She's not perfect, fellas, but she's going to be a nice addition to the car shows. We'll be in the back row, of course. I'm kidding. But that's all I got for you this go around. As always, I appreciate you guys watching. If you know anybody that might be interested in watching this build from the beginning, share the videos with them in my playlist. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and until next time, man, take it easy.